Lions to Angels news. On today's show, we'll be talking about world issues news, United States news, New Jersey's news, sports news, world weather news. Up first, we have Sierra and Ariella talking about a Turkey car bomb and a gun attack in Izmir.
Hello. Today we are covering a news story on the Turkey car bomb and gun attack on the courthouse in Izmir.
On January 5th, 2017, two attackers, a policeman and a court worker, have been killed in a gun attack and car bomb in the Turkish city Izmir.
The attacks are being blamed on Kurdish militants, but the third attacker is still being examined. All people involved in the accident are critically injured.
Turkey launched a military operation in Syria in August to push back IS and Kurdish forces from the Turkish border for threatening the citizens and people of Turkey. The Kurdish members were armed with heavy rifles and grenades on the attack site.
5 to 11 people were affected and injured from the attack. 36 people are now in custody. Many people involved in this bomb attack were also linked to the people that were involved in the nightclub shooting in Turkey last week.
All actions that occurred in this attack are being heavily watched and examined by authorities and are being discussed through the security of Turkey.
Up next, Aaron and Lauren talking about citizens trapped in Aleppo.
One current and very important world issue is in Aleppo, Syria.
In the northern part of Aleppo, rebels are holding citizens hostage. Government officials and Russian allies are seizing territories while trying to take the city as a whole.
The United Nations is reporting that male citizens are disappearing. They are separating women and children from their fathers upon entering the taken city. These men are ranging from 30 to 50 years old.
Other citizens have chosen to stay in Aleppo because they choose to or are trapped. As a local citizen said, these people are not rebels, fighters, or radicals. They are people who love life and have nowhere else to go.
The United Nations is frustrated with the lack of progress that is happening. They just want to help these citizens evacuate and are disappointed with the negotiations with Syrian and Russian government officials.
However, the group that is helping the people in Syria is the White Helmets. The White Helmets are a group of volunteers who entered the rubble in Aleppo to try and rescue civilians. In these neighborhoods, more than 50 bombs drop a day, and the White Helmets try to save as many people as possible.
The killings in Aleppo will continue to happen if we don't do something about it. If you want to contribute to help the White Helmets, go to www.whitehelmets.org to help save more lives.
Now, here is Maggie and Lauren talking about Brazilian prison riots.
Recently, Brazilian jails have had an outbreak in riots, leading to the many deaths and leaving many injured. 100 inmates alone in the first week of January have lost their lives to the violence and brutality held in these prisons. At first, no one knew the answer to why these riots were happening, but after further investigations, the authorities established many problems with the Brazilian prisons.
The first problem that the authorities formed was that the prisons are overcrowded. The National Prison Administration announced the number of inmates in Roraima prison is double the prison's capacity. It is issues like these that make overcrowding dangerous for the inmates. The authorities cannot handle the amount of rivalry and adversary in the prisons. The number of inmates overpowers them, which makes it hard for the authorities to run the prisons smoothly. The number of total inmates in Brazil in 2002 was 232,755, but the number has almost tripled in just 12 years, with 622,202 inmates in 2014. In recent years, the law has cracked down on violence and drug-related crime. Because of this, the prisons are overpopulating and it is not in favor of the authorities, considering the inmates have taken over all facilities.
Another problem found in prison was gang warfare. Almost 400 inmates' lives were lost in 2016 due to the gang violence. Although gang warfare has always been common in Brazil, they have recently found out there has been an uprising between two powerful gangs within the prisons. The Sao Paulo-based First Capital Command drug gang and the Rio de Janeiro's Red Command have always been close-knit and worked together to keep the flow of drugs and guns through Brazilian borders and into the city running. But these two gangs have had a falling out and ever since have been in war within the prison facilities. There are thousands of gang members locked behind the bars and have been rioting against each other, making prison an even more unsafe place for inmates and authorities.
The last and most prominent reason why the Brazilian prisons have been having these outbreaks are because of the facility's lack of resources. The state governor, Jose Melo, had asked the federal government for supplies, which proves how low on equipment the state is funded. Along with equipment, the state is funded with poorly trained and underpaid guards that are facing these violent inmates. Altogether, the underfunding that these facilities are facing are deteriorating the prisons, making it hard for inmates to behave and survive.
Altogether, these issues create one big problem for the country of Brazil and the Brazilian prisons. Like I had said before, 100 inmates were killed in these prisons within the first week of January. If Brazil doesn't come up with a resolution to these problems, unfortunately that number will rise and Brazil will be facing a difficulty that is far beyond what they can deal with.
Up next, Sierra talks about how the United States confirms that Osama bin Laden's son is officially designated a global terrorist.
As we all know, Osama bin Laden is the most known terrorist worldwide. He has done many tragic and unforgettable actions to the United States and throughout the world, and his son seems to be following in his footsteps. Hamza bin Laden has been officially designated a global terrorist by the United States. A professor stated that Hamza was his father's favorite son, and people have always talked about him succeeding just like his father. Now, Hamza is on the U.S. sanctions list as someone who threatens the national security and the safety of United States citizens.
Coming up, Brian talks about the global sensation, Dan Brazilian. Hello there. Yet again, Dan Brazilian is one of the most interesting men on Instagram. Dan Brazilian was born in Tampa, Florida, and now lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. Dan is a professional poker player and a trust fund beneficiary. His life is every teenager's dream, from extravagant cars to private jets to yachts to hundreds of girls surrounding him at all times. The 20.5 million followers does the king of Instagram justice. Tonight, with our fifth story, Ariella talks about how Macy's closes 3 stores in New Jersey.
Hello. Today I'm covering news stories on the Macy's stores nationwide that have closed down within the last couple months. Macy's announces closing over 100 stores nationwide, 3 of which are located in our own state of New Jersey. The towns of the shutdown Macy's stores include Morristown, Voorhees, and Wayne, New Jersey. This leaves over 400 people jobless. The company has closed down the stores because of the low revenue in these 3 locations. Macy's chairman and chief officer, Terry J. Lundgren, said that he would like to expand the retail chain online. This leaves the citizens of New Jersey who worked at any of the 3 locations in a serious financial crisis. The displaced associates who are affected by this great change will be let go with severance benefits.
Coming up, Aaron talks about the Hoboken train crash.
One major New Jersey event that occurred this year was a train crash in Hoboken. On September 29th, the New Jersey Transit train crashed. It happened at 8:45 in the Hoboken terminal. The Hoboken terminal is one of the largest and most populated stations heading into New York City. The train was coming at an extremely fast speed, at least 10 miles over the speed limit. With the train barreling down so quickly, there wasn't enough time for people on the platform to flee. The accident ended up killing 1 woman. In total, Governor Chris Christie said that around 114 people were injured. The engineer has been identified as a 48-year-old man named Thomas Gallagher. He was brought to the hospital and released. During this time, he was being cooperative with local officials. Thomas has worked for New Jersey Transit for 29 years. After the accident happened, Thomas was later diagnosed with sleep apnea. Sleep apnea has caused several other train crashes on New York and New Jersey Transit. In New York, during 2013, 4 people were killed due to an engineer having sleep apnea. It will be interesting to see if in the future, New York or New Jersey Transit will require staff to undergo certain tests to prevent more accidents from happening.
Now we have sports news with me talking about Peyton Manning's last game. Hi, today we are covering Peyton Manning's last football game. Peyton went out on a high note as he carried the Denver Broncos to a 24-10 victory over the Carolina Panthers, who went 15-1 over the regular season. The future Hall of Famer was coming off an Offensive Year award just a season ago. He topped this achievement by bringing home Super Bowl 50 home to the Denver area. The legacy of the Tennessee first-rounder will never be forgotten, and he will be a role model for generations to come. Now, Maggie talks about Alabama playing Clemson in a national championship game.
At 8 o'clock p.m. on January 9th, Alabama vs. Clemson fought out for the national championship title for the 2nd year in a row. Both teams excelled during their regular season to be in the position, once again, to have the opportunity to receive this title. In the end, the underdogs, the Clemson Tigers, won, with the end score being 35-31. This was the first time Clemson has defeated Alabama since the year of 1905. Many were shocked, but Clemson deserved this title because of the way they played during the game. The fans thought Alabama would win because of their undefeated record this season and were shocked when Clemson won. Alabama was in the lead 4th quarter, with the score being 31-28 with 2 minutes left on the clock, but Clemson scored a touchdown at the very last second, winning 35-31.
This week, the winter storm Jupiter has made its appearance.
This storm has quickly turned deadly as the storm moves into the plains and Midwest with freezing rain and accumulating ice.
2 deaths have been confirmed due to icy roads in Missouri.
Other crashes due to icy roads are being reported in Oklahoma.
Earlier in the week, the storm slammed the Northwest with snow, collapsing buildings in Oregon.
And last, in Portland, Oregon, the storm dumped more than a foot of snow in places, and residents dipped their cars as roads became impassable, and plows struggled to keep up with the heavy snow.
That's it, folks.